Welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management, a weekly conversation with area leaders about how to persevere during uncertain times. Now here's your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times. And you know what? I've been around a little while. You might laugh when you hear me say that, but one of the things I've not heard of is the group we're talking about today. And the group we're talking about is Girls on the Run. And many times we deal with leading in challenging times, and this organization does just that. And this is Girls on the Run, the Heart of Kansas chapter. And our guest today is Stephanie Hislop, who is the marketing and events coordinator for that program. She's based out of Wichita, but the program runs across the state and involves schools in Ellis and Saline County, and maybe one of your schools if we get this right. So, Stephanie, welcome to our program. I know
Hey,
I have to ask first, are you a runner?
I am not a runner. I am a yogi, hiker, walker, beginner golfer, but running is not necessarily my thing. But I do a lot of walking, but the running is pretty minimal. But we do have plenty of runners in our community.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because when I first saw the title of your group, Girls on the Run,
Sure.
I really thought it was something about safety and keeping girls safe because many
Right.
times you hear that. I'm guessing I'm not the only one to think that.
Sure. We'd love to tell you more about Girls on the Run. I think a lot of sometimes the misconception is we're a running program and, we teach girls how to run. There is running involved in what we do, but it's about that much of it. We are an after school program and we serve third through eighth grade girls. Ultimately, we're a girl empowerment group. So we talk to girls about things like navigating healthy friendships, building self-esteem, learning how to like themselves for who they are, goal setting, how to give back to your community. All during these lessons, they're also training to finish a 5K. Now, by finishing, that doesn't mean running. That doesn't mean we're training the next Olympians here. We are out here just celebrating forward movement and whatever that looks like to them.
Well, I like the concept, and this is not new.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard of it, but
right.
how long has this program been around?
So Girls on the Run has been around for 25 years. As far as our council for the Heart of Kansas, we've been around 14 years. So we've got about 28 seasons under our belt. In that time, we've served over 12,000 girls.
Well, I think what's cool about this is it's about girl empowerment. And how does
For
that
sure.
program work? Because is this something that goes all year long? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, great question. So we run 2 seasons a year. We hold a spring and a fall season. Each of our sessions are 8 weeks long. And so teams will meet after school for two 90-minute sessions twice a week. And like I said, then it concludes with their celebratory 5K, which will be on November 22nd. But our fall season just started on Monday, and we're already gearing up to recruit for our spring season, which will start, 2026.
So who can be involved with this?
So really, we serve South Central Kansas. If we are not in your school or community center, we can certainly come to you. And a lot of that is just a matter of finding that key person that wants to bring this to their school. And they would essentially serve as a site liaison that kind of helps us to get in the door to meet with teachers, PTO members, school administration, volunteers, just to really get that started.
So what is the criteria for doing that? Because I know there'd be some people listening to this. They're saying, boy, that sounds
Sure.
like it's really cool. How do we make it
Yeah,
happen in our school? Because it does say
sure.
in the notes I have that you're in Ellis County. So there's some schools here. You're also in
Mhm.
Saline County. But if you're
Right,
in between somewhere and you're listening to this and you want to be
right.
involved, what's it take to start a program and be a leader there?
Yeah, great question. We don't actually have a site in those counties just yet. We are able to serve those counties, so we can certainly come to that location. Really, it's about somebody just reaching out to us and connecting. We're happy to come to the schools, do a presentation. A lot of times our coaches are teachers or, maybe PE teachers, school counselors. Oftentimes it's PTO members or parent volunteers who want to bring this to the school. We also have a pool of community volunteers that can serve for coaches as well. But really just taking that first step to reach out. We do provide all of the training, coaching, and support needed for the coaches to have a successful season.
Well, that would be one of the concerns if I was going to sign up is what do I teach in this after school
Right.
program? Is
Great
that
question.
is that a hour long after school every day? Or I mean, there has to be some curriculum that someone has to be
Sure.
knowledgeable about.
Absolutely. Our curriculum is a evidence-based curriculum that is Girls on the Run International. So whether you live in Kansas or Michigan, Florida, that curriculum's the same across the board. So we all teach that same curriculum, and it is that evidence-based curriculum that really works with girls on, like I said, navigating healthy friendships, building self-esteem, and just those general life skills. And development. So we provide all that training provided for all the coaches. We have 1 week where we just do all the training. So typically they'll come to one. There's some online training involved as well, and they'll have to be, CPR certified, and we can help you with that as well.
I guess there's some other
And
requirements
you
if
do
you're
not
going to
have
be
to
a
be a
leader
runner.
there. Yeah.
That's another misconception too. What's that?
So there's probably several requirements if you're going to be dealing with children. And the age group of
Sure.
this is what, third grade through eighth grade, or
Third
what are
through
the?
eighth grade, we have three programs. We have what we call our Girls on the Run program. That is the third through fifth graders. Sixth through eighth grade is our Heart and Soul program. That's that middle school group. And we also do a Camp Girls on the Run as well.
Well, I've had a chance to peruse your website a little bit, and it's really
Yeah,
cool on the national level
yeah,
what this does. And I think in today's world, doing what you're doing is so important.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. We definitely try to create that space where girls can just provide that sense of community within each other and just talk about girl things and how can we can support each other and how can we can empower one another and setting those goals and showing up the best for ourselves.
Well, we probably needed old guys on the run program for guys like me, but in this particular case, it really hits the key
Yeah,
age group where young people are facing challenges today, social media, et cetera,
sure.
that we've never faced before.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And just kind of try to reiterate that, teaching girls how to like themselves for who they are, not necessarily seeking that external accountability and external validation from things that just really aren't what we're trying to focus on. And like I said, that goal setting, they are finishing that 5K, but it's that daily movement. Maybe today you ran this amount, maybe the next day you're walking that. We're just celebrating moving forward and then setting those goals for them.
Well,
And
this
one
is
thing I
it.
will say about what's that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, one thing about, our volunteer coaches, another misconception is, oh gosh, I'm not a runner. I can never do that. You don't have to be a runner. I mean, you have to be just willing to be someone who believes in the power of girls and someone who wants to show up for them and give back to our community.
Well, someone's listening out here may want to know the next step for getting one of these programs started in their school. And
Sure.
so, if hold on with me, we're going to come back and talk about your website
Okay.
and how maybe you can be involved as one of our listeners or viewers out there and get something
Wonderful.
like this started in your school. Our guest is Stephanie Hislop, who is the marketing and events coordinator for Girls on the Run, Heart of Kansas Group. We'll be back with more after this.
Since 1776, the United States of America continues to stand tall. It's been tested before, many times. Through grit and the ability to move forward, we create better tomorrows. We help our clients live their best lives to and through retirement. We make it easier. Thank you, Kansas. Worth Wealth Management, enhancing lives and strengthening families.
Welcome back to Forward Ever, leading in challenging times with our guest Stephanie Hislop, who's the marketing and events coordinator for Girls on the Run. And Stephanie, we were talking about all the things that you do and the programs that can be put in place, but somebody out there listening to this says, "That sounds interesting. I'd like to learn more." What's the best way for them to learn more?
Right. Best way to contact us is just to hop on our website, and that is going to be girlsontheRunKS.org. We've got three staff members. There's myself, Christy Thomas, who's our executive director, and Camille, she's our program director. We can definitely get you started and tell you a little bit more about what that looks like about starting a site at your school.
So, Girls on the Run,
And really,
KS.org.
yes, .org. And really, as far as where Girls on the Run can be, we just need to have a safe indoor space where girls can meet. We need to have indoor spot where they could come into, whether it be for inclement weather, use of restrooms. So Girls on the Run can be at a school, it can be at a church or a community center.
So, if you want to be a leader, the criteria for that, you said you don't have to be a
Mhm.
runner to do this, but you have to be interested in young
You
women
definitely don't
who
have to
are
be a
want
runner.
to have some sort of history of being a leader in that area. What else does it take?
Yeah. Really,
Anything
it
else?
just takes someone who wants to give back, who wants to support girls. We do, like I said, we provide all the tools, training, and support needed for that. But that initial step is just reaching out about being a what we call a site liaison. So that site liaison is just going to be our initial contact person that, maybe their daughter attends a school and they're on the PTO or they're a teacher or administrator there. That's just that initial contact person. They can help to communicate that with parents about how to get that started, what that program means. But like I said, we provide all the tools, training support, marketing materials, and all of that to support our teams.
Well, Stephanie, talking to you, you're easy to talk to. So, somebody that has some interest in this, any school in Kansas would qualify for being able to
So
do
we
this?
serve South Central Kansas. We serve Sedgwick, Pratt, Kingman, Butler, Harvey, Reno, Sumner, Ellis, Saline, remember right here, Marion, and McPherson counties.
Okay, a good central part of Western Kansas then. And I assume if
Yes,
somebody outside of that area, there would be a Girls on the Run group that would maybe help them, which would be either from the national
correct.
level or other groups.
Correct. So in Kansas, there is a Girls on the Run. Pardon me, Flint Hills as well as Kansas City.
Okay. So there are
Excuse
ways
me.
to go do that. So, Stephanie, thanks so much for joining us today because it's always fun to learn new things. And this is one of those things that you may have somebody, it's a great way to get kids together and help them, I'll say, survive and even thrive in such a social media tough world that we kind of live in with news and all that
Yeah,
information. So I
for sure.
appreciate all you do. And you're based out of Wichita, but you can set things up and work with people across the central and western part of the state. So
For
I
sure.
hope somebody gives you a call and does some follow up and say, let's do this at our school or let's do
Yeah.
this with our group. So,
And our phone number is 316-749-8090.
you kind of forget about that, or they just go to the website and get all the information there. But that's
Yep.
an easy way to just make that phone
Yep.
call
Give us a
too
call.
and do that happening and make that work. So, Stephanie, thanks for being with us today and thanks for
Thank
all you do
you.
with Girls on the Run.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Stephanie Hislop is our guest today on Forward Ever Leading in Challenging Times. She's the marketing and events coordinator with Girls on the Run, the Heart of Kansas group. If you're interested, look to their site, girlsontheRunKS.org, and you'll find out all the information. It's a great program. Hope you take a look. Thanks for listening. You're listening to Forward
Thanks a
Ever
lot.
Leading in Challenging Times. Yes, Stephanie, did you have something else to add?
No, just saying thanks again for the opportunity and feel free to give us a call or hop on our website. We'd love to partner with you.
I'd love to have that happen. So, our
Yeah.
program is brought to you by Worth Wealth Management, where you can live with confidence. I'm Gary Shorman.
Thanks for joining us for Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management. Join us right here next week for another episode with host Gary Shorman. Until then, remember to move forward ever, backward never.